Yep. Right, ceramic coatings. It's time to broach the subject of ceramic coatings, something which I've avoided for a long time. For some reason, and I don't know why, I get a lot of comments asking about ceramic coatings from India. And certainly over the last year or 18 months, I think I've had about 6 companies who specialise in ceramic coatings approach me about, making a video, taking the bike to them, letting them do it, filming the process, and then giving a review. Now, I've always had reservations about anything that is sold as being, for the most part, a permanent paint sealant on cars. As somebody that used to paint cars, it's always struck me that the refinishing process might be problematic if there's a coating on the car paintwork that, is designed to shrug off water and weather, because it will very probably shrug off paint as well, which can make refinishing in the event of a mishap problematic. And certainly in the early days, the very first ceramic coatings that became available for vehicle owners back in the mid-1990s, products like Total Protection and Diamond Bright, they were problematic because there was nothing on the market that would remove the finish if you needed to refinish the car. Things may be different now. I honestly don't know the answer. I have actually researched it, but I haven't been able to come up with anything. So, to that end, my preference has always been for something that is semi-permanent, something that will, last a few weeks or a few months, but something that that you can remove if you need to. My preference being carnauba waxes, possibly resin-based polishes. A finish that I know I can remove quickly, easily, and cheaply if I need to. Now, reviewing protectors and sealants for motorcycles or cars is a time-consuming business if you're going to do it properly. It's okay showing you a tin or a bottle, showing you, the product being put on a car and then telling you how lovely and shiny it is, but that doesn't really tell you anything about the product. You need to know what protection it's going to give and how long that protection is going to last. So to that end, all these offers that I get from ceramic coating companies, I turn down because, what can I tell you? Yeah, this is what they do, this is how they put it on, this is what it looks like, and I can't tell you anything more about that product until 6 months or a year down the line. It might help them sell some products or services, but it doesn't help you much. And the downside for me is it then basically takes that motorcycle out of the equation for this channel, because I can't test any further waxes or products on it. I'm stuck with it. Now, straight after Christmas, Autobrite Direct got in touch and asked me if I wanted to try out a new product. Extremely easy DIY application, a ceramic infused sealant. Now, it's called Ceramic Magiseal, and it's in some ways similar to the Autoglim Polar Seal that I tested at the beginning of last year and I've been using ever since. Now, motorcycle paintwork and motor car paintwork are the same thing. There's very little difference between the two. In fact, you'll probably find a bigger difference between one manufacturer of motorcycle to another than you will between a car and a motorcycle. And the advantage of using my car for these tests is that it lives outside 24/7. It's baked by the sun, it's frozen in winter, it gets covered in snow, hail, salt, rain, and it's the perfect test for the longevity of any product. There's very little point reviewing and testing these products on a motorcycle that's garaged, because a protectant that would only normally last a month outside, because the bike itself is protected from the sun and the weather inside a garage, could last 6 or 8 months. So, any review that I give on it is going to be deceiving. It's not going to be a true reflection of that product for you, especially if you keep your bike outside. Now, I agreed to try this Magiseal out from Autobrite Direct, and then in the first week of February, an opportunity presented itself to me. My next door neighbour, Tom, he doesn't buy new cars. Most cars that he's owned have been, at least 5 years old. But he does look after them. He washes them every week, no matter what. But he's a bit of a skinflint, and he tends to use the cheapest products that he could get his hands on. A few years ago, I got him onto one of my favourite car arbor waxes, and he's used it ever since. Every couple of months he'll wax his car, and it gave him a really good finish, good weather protection, and he was very pleased with it. And then the first week in February, I was outside filming a video on one of the bikes, and he came over and showed me this snow foam product that he'd bought, and this lance that worked from the from a normal hose. Now, the snow foam that he'd bought was about the cheapest that's available on the market, and cheap products are cheap for a reason. It was a really aggressive alkaline-based snow foam, and I watched him clean his car with it, and as soon as he rinsed it off, it was obvious this stuff had just completely stripped every layer of wax that he'd ever put on that car, and the paintwork was dull, the water wouldn't bead up, it was just sitting on the paintwork, and it was obvious he wasn't a happy teddy. Now, I felt a bit sorry for him, and being a good neighbour, I thought, how can we fix this quickly? I remembered this Magiseal, and I thought, well, he's just stripped all the wax off his car, the paintwork's perfectly clean now. We'll give it a try on his car, see what he thinks, and I'll monitor it over the next few weeks. So we read the instructions together, worked out how to use it, applied it to his car, and I've never seen anybody so happy. Instant deep gloss shine, the water beaded back up, it was as though the wax had never been taken off. And what we agreed was that, he would just continue washing his car with his normal car shampoo. We would both monitor the longevity of this product on his car, and he would tell me if he ever put any wax on it again, so that, I knew whether there was any contamination or not. So, at least once a week, since the first week in February, I've been checking his car on a regular basis. I usually check it first thing in the morning. I get up quite early, and it's either dewy or it's been raining, and, I monitor the amount of beading on it, how much it's changed. And as of this week, which I think we worked out was 13 weeks after application, it was still holding strong. I mean, there was evidence that it was starting to dissipate a bit, but it was still giving good protection to the car. Now, Autobrite Direct reckon that it lasts 12 weeks. His car lives outside just like mine, and I reckon it was still good to go for quite a bit longer, but Tom, being a bit of a skinflint, when he realised I was making the video on this project, decided that his needed replenishing as well, so he ended up doing his while I was doing mine. Now, what I like about Magiseal is, first of all, it doesn't cost you hundreds of pounds to treat your car. Secondly, it's easy for, your average guy in the street to apply to his car. It doesn't require any special equipment. It can actually be applied with a pump action spray bottle. Thirdly, it clearly gives really good long-term protection, long-term being 3 to 4 months. And then it's quick and easy to reapply in with your normal cleaning regime when it needs replenishing. To my mind, it's the perfect gateway ceramic drug, if you like. You get many of the benefits of a ceramic sealant without the cost and the hassle that can be associated with it. Now, while I was filming this video, obviously, I was talking to Tom because he was washing his car and getting it ready to nick some of my Magiseal. I know that he always uses a wax-free shampoo, and I saw him actually pouring this cheap snow foam into a bucket, and I asked him what he was doing. And he said that he'd run out of shampoo some weeks back, but he still had this stuff. He didn't see the point in wasting it, so he'd been using it as a car shampoo. So for me, that makes it even more astounding because the product that had originally stripped all the wax off his car and, you know, started this little adventure that we've just been on, seemingly hadn't been able to affect this Magiseal on the numerous washes that is used on his car since he ran out of shampoo. So this is very tenacious stuff. Now, I'm ashamed to say that my car has got into a bit of a state. I think I last washed it the week after we'd treated Tom's car with this Magiseal. So, second week in February. Now, we started off what should have been just a decorating job in our living room, and we uncovered some hoverers. It needed replastering, new floor, new skirting boards, plumbing work, electrical work. It's still ongoing, so I've had very little spare time, plus the car has just been used as a van. In fact, I can't remember the last time I actually had the rear seats back in their upright position, because I've just been using it for carrying building materials and such like for 3 months. At that time, I used Carnauba wax by Autobrite Direct, and you know, I was all ready to push the button on the video for that, and it turns out they've now discontinued it. So I thought what I would do was I would use the car to show you how to you know, apply this Magiseal and show you the results. We know how long it lasts. I think you're going to get 3 to 4 months, maybe more, out of it. I think Autobrite have been quite conservative with their estimates for longevity. Now, you don't use this product neat. It should be mixed with water at a ratio of 1 part product to 4 parts water. So if you just base that on the 12 weeks that Autobrite recommend, you're easily going to get a year out of this, maybe sort of a year and 3 months. That's for a car, but I would say considerably longer for a motorcycle, because you're not going to need as much product. What I have discovered is once you've mixed this product up with water, as long as you seal the container up after the use, if you've got some left in the container, it keeps perfectly well until your next application, because we tried it out on Tom's car before I did it on mine. Because the car was so filthy, I used snow foam on it first. I actually used an Autoglim snow foam because for some reason I don't have any Autobrite snow foam. I left that to soak in for a little while, rinsed it off, and then I used Autobrite's Recon shampoo. This is a wax-free shampoo designed to give a deep cleanse of paintwork without removing too much in the way of coatings that you may have put it on previously. Now, in my case, the wax on the car after washing was pretty well spent, but it wasn't gone completely. I would always recommend that you use something fairly aggressive before using this Magiseal to give it the best possible surface to adhere to when you put it on, or it may affect longevity. I was just applying this for the sake of the video to show you how it works, so I wasn't too concerned about that in this case. After washing, I made sure that I rinsed the shampoo off the car thoroughly and then left it wet. As I've said, you can use this product simply through a pump action spray bottle, but since I had the pressure washer out, I used my snow foamer for best effect. With the snow foamer, this stuff literally does come out just like snow foam. Liberally coat the entire car. It's good on your wheels, providing your wheels are clean. Make sure that you've got a reasonably consistent coverage, and then you simply rinse it off with cold water. That's all there is to it. Now, Autobrite say that you should rinse this off immediately after application. You certainly don't want to allow this stuff to dry on. I don't think it would do any harm, but it would probably leave some sort of stubborn streaking that you would have to retreat to get off. I can see why they call this Magiseal, because it is literally like magic. It's a really satisfying process. The second you start to rinse it off, there's an immediate transformation of the paintwork, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The first thing you do notice is that it imparts a really deep wet look gloss to the paintwork. I remember back in February when we first treated Tom's car, he was quite stunned and obviously very pleased by the sudden gloss that this imparted on his car, something that, you know, he'd not seen for some time. It's quite an old car. And something which, to be honest, as far as I can tell, it's maintained that gloss right up until the day I retreated it. So this is clearly not a gimmick. It is a proper ceramic infused synthetic paint sealant that does away with the need to sort of clean, apply, polish, and then buff off the whole thing, you know, from start to finish. Once you've got your car clean, you can probably do it in less than 5 minutes. Or should I clarify that and say that this adds about 5 minutes onto your normal washing regime without the need to spend an hour applying a polish or sealant by hand and then buffing it off. Now, in comparison to the Autoglim Polar Seal, because I know a lot of people bought that and they're going to want to know what the differences are. Polar Seal is a really good product. I can't fault it, but I've got to say that this Magiseal is next level in comparison. As far as water beading goes, both are highly hydrophobic, so you know the water beading effect is very similar. I would say maybe the Magiseal has an edge. Certainly for longevity, Magiseal definitely has the edge. Now, the big difference between the two is that the Autoglim product does seem to contain quite a lot of silicone. You can tell this because if you get it on your windscreen and you don't clean your windscreen with something that will remove the sealant, the first 3 or 4 times you get caught in the rain, the windscreen will smear as your windscreen wipers go over it. And that's the problem with something that has high silicone content. The Magiseal is a ceramic infused polymer. It may well have some silicone in it, I'm not really sure, but if it does, it has it in very tiny quantities. Smearing on the windscreen is not something you have to worry about, it doesn't happen. Now, Magiseal obviously works great on car paintwork, but it does have some added benefits on a motorcycle because this product will get into places that you can't reach with a cloth, and it'll protect those out of the way, out of sight areas that do tend to suffer from rust long term because you can't give them your personal attention. Just dry your car or your bike in the normal manner, either with a drying towel or with, you know, an electric vehicle dryer. Both will work just as well. And then all the maintenance that's required for the next 12 weeks or so is normal washing and drying with a decent quality shampoo. I am genuinely impressed by this product, and in fact so was Tom. I'll tell you how good it is. Tom even said he was going to buy some, and this is a guy that won't throw a tea bag away until he's used it 3 times. It drastically improves the look of your paintwork and protects it long term without being, you know, truly permanent and difficult to remove if you need to remove it. Now, I had a word with Dale at Autobrite Direct yesterday. He's agreed to a discount. Normally we just get a 10% discount for viewers. I've managed to twist his arm into giving you a 15% discount with the code Stuart15. Just enter that code into the voucher box at the checkout and it will give you 15% discount from any Autobrite Direct product that you happen to have in your basket. I will leave that discount code in the video description down below, along with a link to this product on Autobrite's website. I do also recommend their Recon shampoo, but I will make a separate video on that in due course. Right, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos. I really do appreciate it. I would also appreciate if you would leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you do that, hit the notification bell and ensure that your notifications are enabled. That way you'll be informed whenever I upload a new video. That's it for this week. I will of course be back next week, so until then, please ride safely and I'll see you soon.